This last Sunday, January 15th, I and several thousand other people gathered in different places.
Explain where we're going today.
We are going downtown on a Sunday for Bernie Sanders' healthcare rally. Rally to support healthcare and show just how many people are willing to take action.
Actually, I gathered in front of Rod Bloom's office in downtown Cedar Rapids with about 50 other people. On the same day, Bernie Sanders had several other meetings all around the country, organized by our revolution. We called it Our First Stand. It was my first rally protest awareness driving. It was more of a networking thing, really, between people who want to see the world get better. But so there was normal things. You wore the wrong shoes, kind of pulled, shifting around. Several people didn't have the right kind of clothes. I should have worn a second pair of pants. It was the evening before an ice storm that closed roads and the highway. And yet all of these people gather out to hear each other talk and to share thoughts. So, a bit of talking, a bit of marching to nowhere, which probably should have been skipped, but hey, it was a lot of chutzpah. Very fortunate to go there and see and hear from real people the problems that will happen if we get rid of Obamacare and don't replace it with something better, and also just how it was able to help them. A man came up and said his daughter got terribly ill and would have died if it wasn't for her being covered under his insurance because she was 25 years old. Of course, the cancer survivor showed up and talked about how they don't do it. I don't remember them all very well. I tried to record a couple, but the audio turned out this way.
Kinds of things. I won't go into it. We passed it in the Senate. The House GOP did not pick it up.
No, that was Liz Mathis, one of the two Liz's that showed up that we have in our Iowa House and Senate. The other one being Liz Bennett. You can notice the politicians in the group because they didn't wear weather appropriate stuff. They wore suits that looked like they were killing themselves very slowly. Ready to speak. Anyway, except for Liz Mathis, she had a coat on. She knew what weather was like. She was set. But no, I really liked being able to see these people and listening to these people who are talking about the Women's March coming up on Saturday, and they're talking about what they're going to do to protest the inauguration, and it was a lot of really good stuff. And they bring up a lot of good points about what's happening, but not necessarily the points that politicians will bring up. The biggest one, I guess, main one, since we didn't get that many speakers, was the $1 million maximum. So pretty much, every insurance company had a little clause in there that they will not spend more than $1 million on a certain person. And for most people, this works fine. But for a couple people that get cancer or multiple cancers or have to take pills to live that are $12,000 a day, this can add up. And once you're well after you're done with the disease, but they ended up spending more than $1 million on you, they won't give you health insurance for anyone else. You'd just be rejected. You can't even see the doctor anymore because they would just not do any more plans because they're done spending money on you. But the ACA repealed that, and the reason I want to bring that up is because, like I said, legislators aren't talking about it because I don't think it's one that they're going to fight for. There are several people who were the sickest who now, one, really, really want healthcare, really, really want to share their story, and two, still need to see the doctor once in a while. That if we repeal that $1 million maximum law, we'll not be able to get it. So there are roughly 20 million people. I've heard a lot of numbers from 20 up to 33 million people that will lose their insurance if we repeal Obamacare. Those are people that insurance companies are ready to drop like a hot potato, like a hot sack of garbage as soon as possible because they're losing money on them because they have to pay. like the first thing that the ACA did is make it so that insurance companies have to work for people with and that goes for a lot of ways. So they can't get out of some ways of paying. They can't get out in a lot of ways of paying the ways they used to by, like, denying service. But then they also can't use several of the pre-existing conditions, which you have heard all the time, which I'm afraid some pre-existing conditions will come back, but they have some ludicrous ones. My favorite ones, well, if you ever had cancer, pre-existing condition. If you were born with some kind of weird bone thing, pre-existing condition. If you were ever pregnant, pre-existing condition. And if you were ever domestically abused, they counted domestic abuse as a pre-existing condition because you can go to the hospital more. They're insane. These rules are crazy, and we're crying out for regulation, which is why the Democrats and Obama first pushed for Obamacare. And if you ask me, it is, well, my opinion is that it's just like the Constitution. So when the Constitution first came out, if you read it, it's missing a lot of stuff, which we know now that we made amendments to add on to it. But that was the whole thing back then. People were like, we can't pass this. This isn't a working government. This is a crappy little thing. It's missing stuff. There's stuff that's written wrong. There's a spelling error. What's up with all our weird commas? But then Alexander Hamilton and several other people, as we know from the musical, wrote the Federalist Papers, and in that they argued that it's not perfect, but it's foundation, and it's easy to fix, and it's easy to amend more and make it better. But if we wait around for the perfect whole document to come, it's not going to happen. We got to do what's good, and then we got to build on top of that. And that, I feel like, in the same spirit is what Affordable Health Care Act was supposed to be. But we didn't add any amendments to it. We didn't add on. We didn't improve it. Instead, Republicans tried to appeal it for 6 years out of insolence. So now the Republicans have all the power and like, let's do what we've been doing. We've been insolent, and people don't like it. And people didn't pay attention then because they didn't have power, and people are paying attention now. People doing it right now, and it is sad because a lot of people that are trying to write to their congressmen, or trying to call their congressmen, because they're doing this so fast that they want to get their voices heard. And like, what are you doing? You can't be doing this. They're being jumped, and people are asking them questions, and people are saying that they don't like what they're doing. And a lot of stuff are trying to be ignored. You'll find examples of congressmen doing town halls and only getting through like 10 people because enough people were berating them what they're doing with healthcare. They're going to try to ignore these because big donors, insurance, they're going to try to go on. But we can't let that happen. We can't go 4 years with 30 million people losing their health insurance. We can't just ignore it and make it go away so they can go on. So gum up the works, because for the last couple of years, Republicans haven't had any power. So they've been spinning their wheels. And so they haven't got much attention. But now they have power, they need our attention and they need our voice, and we need to tell them that they can't get up to shenanigans just because someone's finally left them the keys. They've been playing for years, and now it's time to work, and it's not going to resemble the playtime that they fantasized about.
Because Medicare, right now, doesn't pay enough to cover my caseload. So if they make further cuts, I will be coming in over and will not get a care plan, and I don't know what am I going to be able to do for myself right now. That's how I feel.
So, April 1st comes along, and managed care goes into action. And it's been a mess. It's just been a mess since April 1st. Providers aren't being paid. People aren't getting the services they need. It's not even close. And we still have issues surrounding and questions surrounding, are we actually getting better service? Have we turned into an efficient and effective system? They can't answer that. What they can answer, though, is how quickly they answered a phone call. Can they tell me how long they've been on the phone call and if there's a resolution? No. Can they tell me how many people have dropped out? Can they tell me how many providers, and I know several, who have written letters to their patients and said, we're not taking any more Medicaid and we're dropping our Medicaid service altogether. That is a travesty. That's a travesty. And it's not fair. Now, we're faced with our late federal government in terms of the ACA and our expanded Medicaid. A few years ago, remember when we were able to put another 150,000 people on Medicaid? All right, now what are we going to do? If the ACA goes away and there's no plan there, we have 150,000 people that are going to be without health care. And that is not good. That's not right, and it's not fair. So please stand with me, and let's keep up the good fight, because right now we don't have the majority in either the House or the Senate, and we need you. If we don't have a vote, we need a voice. All right?
Yeah.